folks, Sandamtod here. How we doing? Heading to work in the car. Thought I'd answer a quick question I got in my personal messages from bigbear2g19. He asked me what my opinion on the greatest hits, or collecting for the greatest hits, or maybe just buying the greatest hits versus buying the original versions. I tend to call them black box versions, even though all of them are, different. But the first time I remember seeing greatest hits games was back in the Super Nintendo Genesis era. Nintendo had their Player's Choice million sellers, and I think Genesis called it like their mega hits collection or something. I know I've got like X-Men 2 and a couple other ones that are mega hits. I think I had like a Vector Man or something. I might have traded that, but I know I have X-Men 2 that's the greatest hits or mega hits. Back in the day, I thought it was great because you could get games at a little bit of a break on the price that were quality games. And, back then there wasn't this wealth of internet buying and things like that, and Craigslist and stuff, and you'd have to go to your thrift stores and hope that somebody had donated their collection, and back then they didn't charge you but a nickel and a dime for anything, or you just went without, or you tried to find a friend that had it, that wanted something that you had that you didn't want any longer, and you traded them permanent or something like that. But it was one of those deals where when they first came out with it was a great idea, and nowadays I think it's a little antiquated, the idea, because you can buy games at a discount price from any number of wholesalers now, or on eBay or Amazon, or but the game companies are going to keep making them because it's extra money in their pocket. They don't make any aftermarket money, so they're going to keep making the games as long as they can make $1 off of them. But usually, as far as collecting goes, I don't really care for them because they break up the uniformity of your system. And if you've been collecting since the first year the thing came out or whatever, or buying games since the first year they came out, you have a lot of black box titles, and then you get one or two of these greatest hits, and a lot of times the cases are radically different colors, or they're some of them are really gaudy. I thought the PlayStation greatest hits for the PlayStation 1 with that bright green, neon green stripe with the orange lettering was pretty gaudy. So I never really cared. And like I said, as a collector, I like having like the first edition, so to speak, of a game versus the re-release. Sometimes on greatest hits they'll make slight changes, which is to either the quality of the game, or I remember back in the PlayStation era, they started infusing games with the ability to play with the analog sticks and the vibration and things like that when PlayStation first came out they didn't have, and they borrowed the ideas from like the Dreamcast and the Nintendo 64, with the Rumble Pack and stuff, and it just incorporated it into the controller. And I remember when I first got one of those controllers that had the vibration and the analog sticks, and it was just like a totally new experience to play some games. And it's funny because people nowadays, kids nowadays, that stuff's automatically in the controller. It's just the way it is. So they don't even remember, unless they play retro, about not having that in the controller in the games. And I suppose if you collected for greatest hits and you were trying to get a complete greatest hits collection, that might be interesting, but it doesn't really interest me. it's just another aspect of trying to collect, in my opinion. It'd be like me trying to collect all the sports games for a system or something. I'm not going to do it. It'd be interesting, you know, because it's an avenue of collecting, but it really doesn't interest me. And same thing with the greatest hits as far as getting a complete collection of those for a system or something. So nowadays, you know, it's really not that big a deal, the greatest hits, but back in the cartridge era and stuff, it was a big deal. You got a cheaper game, or a good game at a cheaper price, and, you know, the only thing you had to put up with was some variants on label color or box or things like that. And, you know, and to be honest, back then, I really didn't care as much as I do now in the last 5 to 6 years that I've been collecting again. So I think that about does it. I'm gonna get out of here because I'm about halfway to work, and I'm gonna try to upload this for y'all. And thanks for the question, bigbear2g19, Michael. Yeah, I thought I'd do a quick video on it. He said, it might make a good video. I'd like to know your opinion. So I was like, all right. And I'm going to get out of here. So thanks for coming by. I'll have a pickups video here shortly. I filmed one last night, but I don't know if I'm happy with it. So I might refilm it. But other than that, I should have another video, at least as far as pickups and stuff go, in the next week. So, talk to you later, guys. Have a good one. See you next video.